Take a roll call.
Commissioner Delgadillo.
Here.
Commissioner Peskovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Daly. Commissioner
That's
Bennett.
great.
Here. Commissioner Richardson.
Here. Do the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a lengthy agenda this evening, and in addition, there may be other new business not anticipated by the chairperson 48 hours in advance of the meeting. So I am going to close the meeting to public comment unless we have sufficient time at the end of the meeting.
Can't be directed now.
I said, we have a lengthy agenda this evening, and in addition, there's a number of items that were not anticipated by the chairperson 48 hours in advance of the meeting. So I will close the meeting to public comments at this time, and may open it up to public comments if we have additional time at the end of the meeting. So the first item on the agenda is motion to approve minutes of the August 6, 2024 board meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of the August 26, 24 meeting.
And second, any discussion? Hearing none, take a roll call.
Commissioner Delgadillo.
Yes.
Commissioner Peskovich.
Yes.
Commissioner Richardson.
Yes.
Commissioner Bailey.
Yes.
Commissioner Bennett.
Yes. Come on. Yeah.
Next item on the agenda is motion to approve the minutes of the August 15, 2024 board meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of August 15 meeting.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I wasn't present, Mr. Chairman, but I noticed my name came up during that meeting. And it was noted a discussion about an email from Commissioner Peskovich. And I didn't see that email attached to this. Is it available to be attached to the record?
I can send a colony copy.
Okay.
Yes.
Send it out to you.
Well, it'd be just so long as it's in the record. I just didn't see it. And my other question, if I may, is it refers to it as an item not foreseen 48 hours prior to the meeting, as if it was like an emergency. I question whether or not discussing an old email was an emergency. So, you know, there are guidelines for adding things to an agenda within the 48-hour notification period. So I just want to raise that issue. But other than that,
Okay. Thank you for raising it. It was, decided by the chair that would be allowed.
and the third thing, if I may, is that Commissioner Daly made a motion to express the Board of Commissioners, so you had a vote. And I don't know, was this amended agenda posted anywhere?
Was the amended agenda posted?
Yeah.
I mean, because of the 48 hour?
Right.
No, it was not
It wasn't
posted.
posted. Because typically amended agendas are posted on the town website up to the last minute. And if it wasn't posted, then I question the legality, not only of adding the item, but of actually having a vote. That's just my comment.
Okay. But that's your opinion, that it has to be posted? Thank you. So we'll
Can
take
you guys
it.
speak up a little, because the AC's on, it's really hard to hear.
No, it's behind here, so they'll have to speak louder.
That's what I just asked.
So we'll take the roll call.
Commissioner Delgadillo. Commissioner Peskovich.
Abstain, no present.
Commissioner Richardson.
Yes.
Commissioner Daly.
Yes.
Commissioner Bennett.
Yes.
Next item on the agenda is a motion to approve the accounts payable. I'll make a motion to approve the accounts payable for August 1 through August 23rd. Payment number 16064 through 16111. And the total amount of $43,749.97.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion on that?
That question. On the last page, item 16110, dated 8/21/24, the Speakman Excavating LLC, in the amount of $25,452.12. I'd like to know what that was for, and was it part of the change order that we had voted on for the septic and repaving project? Does anybody know?
Okay,
It was a payment on the Speakman contract. So it was a payment on the contract for tying the buildings in to town sewer. So it's a payment under the contract.
So
The contract has certain payment, that's one of the payments.
Part of the payment schedule.
It's,
So that's a scheduled payment on that contract. Is that finished the payment, or is it,
no, just starting, actually.
that's just the first installation? Okay, that's all. Thanks.
thank you. Take a roll call.
Commissioner Delgadillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Peskovich?
Yes?
Commissioner Bailey?
Yes.
Commissioner Bennett?
Yes.
Commissioner Richardson?
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, related item, we had a set of payables that was tabled at the last meeting. Do you remember that? There was an item on that.
It was to give you the list, and
Say again?
it was to provide a list of the payables in the check order number, so that it was easier for you to.
Is that what this is? Is this not the table? That's not when we tabled at the August meeting.
It's a list in a different format.
Oh, it's in the
Requested.
packet.
Well,
Yes.
well, no, what we decided last meeting, if I remember correctly, is that we had two sets.
Yes,
And we voted on the first set
correct.
and approved that. The second set was exactly the same as the first set, but in a different format.
Oh,
So we
okay.
said we did not need that second
Oh, I'm
set.
sorry. Thank you.
So this meeting, we only got one set.
Because I would think also on that other set we had that it gave a time period. Like the one we just voted is 8/1 to 8/23. And so that's helpful to have. If it was in my packet, I'm sorry, I missed it. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the Tenants Association.
Okay, we've been doing pretty well. We've been having pancake breakfasts every month. And the last one we had in August, we made $142, 107 for donations, and 35 from the 50/50 raffle. We've been having bingo twice a month, and at the bingo, we've been doing a 50/50, and we're bringing in about $20, average of $20. We had a yard sale in August. We made $545 for our recreation account. So our recreation account is up over $1,000. So we have some money to do some fun stuff with.
That's great. Thank you.
I think that's about all I have.
All right. Thank you. The next item on the agenda is a motion to authorize the executive director to enter into an easement agreement for the purpose of connecting sewer to the condominium development known as the Maples. The Maples compensate the Marshfield Housing Authority $15,000 for the purpose of purchasing a large screen TV, new kitchen cabinets, and countertop in the community kitchen, new appliances as well as new outdoor tent and furniture for the residents' benefit. The Maples will also pave the roadway area for all family units. The agreement is subject to EOHLC review and approval. And I know that you had some questions at last meeting as to whether or not, the DPW has been involved. I did discuss that with the executive director and the DPW. Actually, Maples approached the DPW and then approached our executive director.
Mr. Chairman, I have some new information. I got a call this afternoon from Steinbeck and Taylor. They're the designers on the project. Evidently, there was an August 12th meeting with the DPW where the DPW was presented with a copy of the letter from the Meadows or from whatever, from the Maples, making the offer to us. So they discussed it at the August 12th DPW meeting without any of our knowledge. And they decided that they were not going to allow the Maples to tie into our septic system, which is ironic given the fact that we had the butter in hand tying in, there was no problem. But evidently, there was a letter that came to this board that ended up at the DPW.
Did they provide justification?
I wasn't at the meeting, I knew nothing about it, I wasn't made aware of it.
Can we get a copy of it?
I believe it's online, I think you can go on to Marshfield TV and you can watch it.
Yep. The letter?
The whole meeting.
The whole meeting.
None of us were made aware of it, so I don't know anything about what took place. But Steinbeck and Taylor was quite frustrated, as well as, we are, given the fact that we didn't know there was going to be a meeting, know this was going to be discussed, so. So you can take that motion off the agenda and the deal's off the table.
So is there an opportunity to go back to the DPW? Or
I don't think they have any interest in going back.
Maples?
Yeah, but what I understand from talking to Steinbeck and Taylor. So he was frustrated, to say the least.
All right.
I have a question about the agenda item. In my packet, I got a sketch with the yellowed area. And that's different from what we got when the issue was first raised. When it was first raised, we got this sketch. And this sketch showed the sewer line from the property of the number 1 Maple Lane with the connection to a manhole in the driveway over here. But this is different. So what changed? What was the intent? What's the intent of this diagram? Just curious.
Is this a moot point? I think it's a moot point.
Okay, no, I just get it.
It's not happening, so
I get it in the pack and I go,
they
what's
they
that?
already backed up, so it's not happening.
Well, I would encourage you to talk to the DPW in any case. Thank you. That's all.
Item number 8, motion to approve the proposed operating budget, state aided housing of the Marshfield Housing Authority Program, MRBP, for fiscal year ending June 30, 2024, showing total revenue of $12,600 and total expenses of $9,853, thereby requesting a subsidy of $0 and further that the executive director's total annual salary of $0 for fiscal year ending 6/30/2020, should that be 2025? 2024, be submitted to the Department of Housing and Community Development for its review and approval. So, Holly, is that correct that we're approving 6/30/24, or should it be 6/30 fiscal year and 6/30/25?
24.
24.
I have the certifications here for you to sign, and they say 24.
Should the wording be approved the proposed or just the operating budget ending 6/30/24? Because it's not proposed.
The language
It's
comes
passed.
right from EOHLC. We don't create this language, it's created by the state. So if there's an issue with it, it's something that we should probably contact EOHLC about.
So they leave that word, it's it's like what the chairman just said, it's like, shouldn't that be 25? So if that's the way they put the language in, yeah, that's kind of strange.
So we're actually doing, if I'm correct, that is, we're approving a budget that went from July 1,
23.
2023.
Ending
to
June 30th,
30,
24.
2024.
You're certifying the budget, and you're gonna sign the
So we're
certificate.
certifying what we actually spent.
Yeah.
And that's the, we're not approving a budget for the next fiscal
Yeah,
year.
it's confusing.
Right, and you've got two budgets that you're
What
doing.
is
You're
actually-
doing
what
two
is
different,
actually
two different programs.
Right.
Yeah.
So did everybody have a chance to review that operating budget for the MRVP for the fiscal year ending 2024?
I do have a question, Mr. Chairman. Where in my packet is there any table or spreadsheet related to that? Because I got like over 60 pages of figures.
The budget from Fenton New Orleans, the package, like, that looks like
Right.
this. This is the budget that you're certifying, this is the budget ending June 30th, 24.
But within that,
So,
Within that is the budget.
for MRVP,
No MRVP plus your 705s, all the programs are listed. And each one of them has a separate budget contained within the budget.
so here's your cover letter.
right,
Then your next page is going to show you,
the MRVP. Well, I thought that might have been a separate set of packets.
that, if I remember correctly,
There's administrative fees, there's in,
here's a separate one, on your assets and your liabilities, your MRVP separately.
I only got this Saturday, so it's on this one right here.
And then after that, you'll see another one, with your program number 4001. Program.
Yeah, that's
number 667.
That's, yeah, I'm not even talking about that. Can I ask you another question? The subsidy, the revenue of 12.6, and we're not requesting any subsidy. And if you can refresh my memory, are we going to be increasing the numbers for the MRVP program this year? Have we increased them?
No,
Why not? You know, I mean, I just wondered if you know why.
because they only give us the number that they give us. They don't,
Yeah.
you can't get more.
So the state is not interested right now for me, in increasing that?
No.
That's why.
In fact, I like the fact that there's a difference for $2,700. 2747. Which I just not to say.
Yeah, once they take a vote.
We need a motion.
We need a motion first. and we need a
I'll make a
second.
motion to approve the proposed operating budget for state housing for the Marshfield Housing Authority Program, MRBP, fiscal year ending 6/30/24, showing total revenue of $12,600, total expenses $9,853, thereby requesting a subsidy of zero. Further, that the executive director's total salary of zero for fiscal year ending 6/30/24 be submitted to the Department of Housing and Community Development for its review and approval.
I'll second your motion.
Any discussion? Seeing none?
No.
Seeing none, we'll take a roll call vote.
Commissioner Delgadillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Casabit?
Yes.
Commissioner Daly? Commissioner Bennett?
Yes.
Commissioner Richardson?
Yes. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is a motion to approve the proposed,
Is it MRVP?
motion to approve the proposed operating budget, state aided housing of the Marshfield Housing Authority Program 400-1 for fiscal year ending 6/30/2024, showing total revenue of $956,895, total expenses of $859,445, thereby requesting a subsidy of $284,734, and further that the executive director's total annual salary of $0 for fiscal year ending 6/30/2024 be submitted to the Department of Housing and Community Development for its review and approval. Do I have a second? Any discussion on that?
My only discussion is, like I said, I got the packet on Saturday, and I really need to talk to either Mr. Goulart or John about this set of documents. I cannot complete my review of this in time for this vote. So, if I can talk to Mr. Goulart or somebody later on in the week, or maybe next Monday, I'd appreciate that.
Believe I got mine on Thursday.
Yeah, well, I got mine Saturday.
Thursday.
I don't know.
Yeah, they were all delivered on Thursday and Friday.
Well, I got mine Saturday.
Correct. So we've had X number of days to review it. If you do have questions, we can still move forward with the vote by the remaining commissioners if you want to.
You can go ahead and vote, but I'll abstain at this time until I get a chance to talk to John.
That's fine.
And I'd like, if I can set that up, you can help me set that up, maybe like next Monday, possibly.
Sure.
Thank you.
The one question I have on the motion, I probably should have recognized it on the previous motion. Do we need to change the wording to the Department of Housing and Community Development to EOHLC, or
We should, but their document still says.
document says PHC? Thank you. So I'll take is there any further discussion on item number 9?
Commissioner Delgadillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Peskovich?
And abstain,
Commissioner Daly?
Yes.
Commissioner Bennett?
Yes.
Commissioner Richardson?
Yeah. Item number 10, motion to approve and authorize the executive director to execute amendment 13, the contract for financial assistance 5001 for formula funding between the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities, and the Marshfield Housing Authority in the amount of $354,479 for the fiscal year 2026 and 2027 formula funding awards.
So moved.
Second,
I'll second.
any discussion on that?
my comments are the same on that. That's the previous one.
Any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman, just to clarify, this is your capital award. This isn't really something, this is your capital award based on the number of units, based on EOHLC's guidelines. This is your funding for 2 years of capital awards. There is no budget there is no documentation. This is the money that the state is giving us for 2 years of capital improvements.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll take a vote.
Commissioner Delgadillo?
Yes.
Commissioner Peskovich?
Abstain,
Commissioner Daly?
Yes.
Commissioner Bennett?
Yes.
Commissioner Richardson?
Yes. In our packet, just wanted to go over well, before we do the executive director's report. There are a number of documents in here that each of us will be asked to sign this evening,
Yes.
and we just want to make sure that everybody's comfortable, with those documents, that you've had the opportunity to review them. You've read the fact that you've basically saying that you know what it says in chapter 200, 667, 705, 689, and the program number 400-1. And then also that when you do certified you have the opportunity to check a box that says you're certifying either to both, or to one, or the other, or neither. And then also that we're going to be certifying, or at least I am, that I'm going to be certifying compliance with notification procedures for federal and state lead paint laws. And want to make sure that none of the commissioners have any objection to my certifying that. We're also going to be certifying to the top 5 paid employees. I want to make sure that you have no concern about that. And we do have a list of the top 5 employees in our budget package. There's also quite a bit of information about the non-utility expense levels that we have. Make sure you've read all of that. It also gives all of the information on our insurance policies, on retirement, health insurance tax, unemployment insurance, FICA, Medicare, dental insurance plan, group insurance, workers' comp, property, truck, the bond, and the flood. The only thing I was surprised at was the premium amount only was $1,629 for flood. So I'm assuming we have a limited number of family units in the flood zone.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Those are all being looked at by DOHLC. They're doing a study from a grant to evaluate the potential risk to the housing authority.
All right. And even our truck insurance, $1,292, I wish I could get rich like that. But it also gives our maintenance supplies, the amounts we're spending, all of our maintenance contracts, the utilities for water, electricity, gas, heating, and other, the rent rolls as to what we expect that we may not collect. Our occupancy rate is at 95% on a projected basis. So we know that we do have turnover on a year-to-year basis, and we're predicting the 5% that we will not collect the rent on. We show what we're going to get in interest for the year, a total of $225 that goes into our budget. Any legal expenses, any extraordinary maintenance, non-capital purchases, replacement of equipment, sale of equipment. So it's rather extensive budget. And I believe this is the best presentation I've seen since I've been on the board as to what actually occurs throughout the year and what we can expect.
Mr. Chair, I have a question, if I may. The truck insurance, is that for the new truck?
I don't think the new truck's in there.
It's not in there yet?
Last year's budget.
Maybe that's
So
why
the
it's a
new
little
truck's-
bit lower than you.
The truck's
I-
probably not in there.
I saw that as well, but
Yeah, 'cause that's 23, you get by the new truck.
until 24. Thank you.
Yeah.
And if I remember right, there was an increase of somewhere around 9% or so
Mhm.
that USDC is allowing to all housing authorities
Right.
for
But that's coming, this coming budget, for the new budget cycle.
the
Yeah.
So, Colleen, do you want us to do the certifications now?
I believe James is sending them around.
Yeah. It's fast. You have two of them that are already signed.
You're right, John.
Where is the statement of right compliance? Where is the, something like that EPA regulations, something like always here for
So, I'm sure, what is
I'm
it,
just wondering
where is the regulation?
yeah,
And we'd have to basically pull it up and review it.
well, who actually does these certifications, who actually verifies?
Just so on this one, I sign as chairperson, and all the board members sign. Okay, so you have the opportunity to certify to both, certify to the top 5 only, certify to the financial statements and tenants accounts receivable only, or decline to certify to both. And then you would basically sign. So let me sign that one first. Nobody else signs on that
What's
one.
this one?
So then you should, Cecilia, I'm not sure that you signed on me.
No, actually, no.
So
All signing.
we'll go in order there.
Oh, no, I didn't sign that.
That one can go directly on me.
Would you be in the office, do you know,
I will not.
when will the next time you will,
I'm not sure what my schedule is. I'm still I'm on vacation next week.
What is it that you need?
Okay, no, because there's a couple of these regulations I don't think I've read.
We can make you copies of that today.
Yeah, would you please?
Yeah.
And then I can get right back to you. I mean, as far as the top 5. And I'll come right back to you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I can give you my copy of that. I don't need it. Oh, I gave mine to them. You don't give us. Here we go.
These are blank copies. Commissioner.
These are one copies, Commissioner. It's the papers.
I think I have those. And I have the certification signature page, checkbox. Good.
Here's one, and then there's another one. Helen is 2 sheets of paper, one on the top, and then probably the third or fourth. After that,
Please go with us.
You don't need to sign any of those, there should be a second page of it. Colleen, would you just make sure we, either, at least all of us except for those signed at this point,
Yes, I will make sure.
before we leave this evening?
Yes.
Thank you. We'll do the executive director's report.
Sure. So we had the kickoff construction for the Grace Rider new septic project. The project's beginning there. We paved the handicap ramp and sidewalks here, and did actually did the final coat this week. And the striping is scheduled for 2 weeks from now. We did the monthly Greater Boston food delivery. The tenants had, as they said earlier, a community yard sale. We finished the vacancy at unit 15C, and we finished the vacancy at number 8 Grace Rider. We have the engineer coming out to review the federal Pacific Channel project, which is moving forward. And we had the kickoff meeting for the 2 houses that are being totally renovated with the exterior envelope project, 231 Caswell Street and 625 Ocean Street. Elite Fire Alarm did the inspection at T-Rock and Grace Rider. The cookout was changed for the tenants from September to September 3rd. We actually had it today this afternoon. We had a great showing. It was a nice time. We had a tenant cornhole competition. We have, Ellie ran a bunch of events this month. We had an ice cream social at T-Rock Gardens and Grace Rider. We had a huge harvest from the community garden, thanks to Robin. We had the blood pressure clinic, which is coming in September with the fire department, cooperation with the fire department. We had a get back to school event for the kids out back. We gave them all backpack and all the supplies for school. And we had we have a fall community get-together scheduled on September 26th with live entertainment. And the walking group resumes this Friday, every Friday.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else?
I have a new agenda item, Mr. Chairman. It's okay. The Housing Authority, every year, Massachusetts Narrow chapter has a annual meeting. This year, it's held at the Seacrest in Falmouth. And the Housing Authority was asked to appoint a board member to be recognized for Board Member of the Year. And the Housing Authority actually sent in a nomination paper on behalf of you. And I received an email today that you were selected. So it says, thank you for your nomination of Mr. Richardson. I'm writing to let you know that our review has been completed and he has been voted to receive one of the 2 Board Member of the Year awards. The Year of the Award will be presented at the annual conference at the Seacrest Hotel on Monday, September 9th, during lunch, which begins at 1 o'clock, and they want you to join them.
Well, thank you.
I need that.
I think I can go, I'll go, guys.
All right. Appreciate that offer. Thank you very
So they
much.
were very impressed with your resume that was submitted on your active service of the community. So I don't know if you want me to read your list of
No,
items, but there's a lengthy list of accomplishments that you've made for the town of Marshfield. So those were all submitted in along with the nomination form.
well, thank you. It's an honor, and
So
I
congratulations.
appreciate it, and totally unexpected. It's a great surprise.
Yes, congratulations.
Please. Would you mind just providing the info as to where I should be?
Oh, yeah, I'll get you everything.
Okay.
And please put that in the record. The documents in record.
Anything further?
Was wondering, was there going to be a time for tenants to make comments?
Not yet.
Do you have the nomination information? The nomination form, do you want to make sure that makes it into the package, please?
So we have at least two other items for the agenda that were not anticipated. And one is the tenants survey. And the result. I referred to this at the last meeting, that if we compare the results of our current survey to the previous one, we really made tremendous improvements. And, you know, in my opinion, the reason that the survey looks so much better is because of the management of the Quincy Housing Authority. So I hope that everybody will take the opportunity to review this survey. And I'll give you a couple of minutes now to look at it. And then, you know, I'd like to hear comments from the commissioners as to, you know, what their feelings are in reference to the results of fall 2023 compared to fall 2019. And these charts, you know, do differentiate between small local housing authorities, large housing authorities, and also on a statewide basis.
I think it's important to note that in addition to a very significant improvement from past surveys, also among our peers, Southeastern Massachusetts, small housing authorities, you know, the results are well above, you know, the average in satisfaction, and just rate all the metrics.
Yes.
I'd like to thank the Quincy's Housing Authority for everything that they do. Because you can tell the residents are happy, the place looks nice, the budget is good. It's, I think it's wonderful, and here are the results. So, I'm very appreciative.
Thank you.
I'm just looking at a quick look over the first time to really look closely at some of these, which we just put on the desk as we arrived. It looks like we're in the range with the other housing authorities now. Whereas, you know, 12, 15, you know, the bad old days, John, when you were here, things were really rough. And it looks like we're in the range of the other housing authorities now. And in a couple of areas, we actually excel. In a couple of areas, like getting hot water back on. Looks like we have 100% success with getting hot water on within 24 hours. Very good. And I know there's been some upgrades, so that can't hurt. So let's keep it going.
Great. You know, my thought is, no matter what we do, there's always improvement, room for improvement. So, and I think, you know, we've been continuous improvement and look forward to even better results. I'm not sure if we can ever get 100%.
You're setting the bar kind of high there.
You're not gonna say it's already at 89.
We can strive for 100 and see how close we can get to it.
One thing we're above average in the state continue to be clogged drains and sewer backups. You think that the improvements and the tie-ins are going to help that situation?
I would definitely think so, yeah.
Yeah.
You have a lot of septic issues.
So we should see that number continue to improve.
I'm assuming the next survey will be a number of years from now.
It is a couple of years from now, yeah. I mean, you also have to remember that the state does a random questionnaire.
Right.
So these surveys really are a little skewed because you don't know who's going to get the survey. And you don't know, you know, who's answering the questions because it's a very small sampling that they take. So you're hopeful that it's not someone that you're in the middle of eviction with. And you hope that it's a tenant that is in good standing, but it's not always.
Right.
So, and they don't sample everybody, which is unfortunate, but they don't.
One point is only 37 people responded. Maybe the way we could get that, I mean, the state runs it, right? So as far as
They don't allow
increasing
us to have anything to do with it. We are not allowed to have any participation in the survey at all.
we find out about it afterwards, basically.
When you get that is when you find out.
Next item I'd like to bring up is Commissioner Daly drafted a code of conduct. And I think we all have that on our, in front of us. And what I'd like to do is ask you to go through that so that we can potentially vote on it this evening. Just let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm just scanning through it.
If I may, I'll start with the comments, and I'll address them to you. I noticed that we did not include, residents in the first paragraph. I'm just wondering if we should include residents where we say, the Marshfield Housing Authority recognizes all individuals elected and/or appointed to the board must maintain and enforce respectful discourse with their fellow elected and/or appointed members. But those who work for the Housing Authority, those who volunteer their time and services on behalf of the Housing Authority and members of the public. Do we consider residents as members of the public?
Yes, yeah. This is on the receiving end, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we will come on that number of every person.
All right. And then on page 1, under A, we say, the first bullet, be well informed concerning the local and state duties of a board committee member. Should we strike the word committee?
Yeah, or it's redundant.
Just say board member? And then on the back of the first page, the fourth bullet down, and then the fifth bullet down, both of them say comply as fully as possible with. Do we want, is there a reason to include fully as possible with? Or should we say comply with all executive office of housing and livable community policies?
I think the idea is there's so many policies and some of them might not be clear. The ones that without limitation would be the anti-harassment, anti-discrimination, anti-fraud. So that was the rationale.
So we're saying maybe there might be some that may not be applicable to a smaller LHA and a larger LHA. And then under item B, third bullet down, a second line that says promptly notify the chairman. I would suggest we change that to notify the chairperson. And then on the last page, under 5, enforcement, under generally, it says, in addition to any other remedies or enforcement options available under the law, the board may vote to censure any elected or appointed member. Any appointing authority may decline to reappoint an individual who violates any provision of this code of conduct. So the way I interpret that is that it says, we as a board of commissioners of the Marshfield Housing Authority may vote to censure any elected or appointed member, and then the appointing authority, which would be the Board of Select, right? In the town of Marshfield.
I think it would be more for the state appointee.
So you're saying that the appointing authority, so that basically the governor may decline to reappoint an individual who violates.
Yeah, because I think the select board makes an appointment, but they don't make a reappointment. Nope. So, I don't know, but it would cover that.
Okay. So we're leaving it open, not defining it, because this basically defines it.
Right.
Anybody else have any comments on it? Or Sandra?
I think it's very good.
It's very comprehensive. I mean, it covers a lot, both broadly and in detail. Thank you, John. Yeah.
Joe?
Something get raised, there are some places in here that where legal questions are raised. I'm just seeing this for the very first time. And John, did you get this from was there a source that helped you put this together?
There were a number of sources, but there was, a lot of it came from the Mass Municipal, Municipal Council.
Mass Municipal Council?
Yeah.
Looking up.
But there's other stuff.
Huh?
There were a lot of different sources.
Really? But the primary one for this template was Mass Municipal Council. Okay. There's some very good elements in here. I just want to say there's some very good elements that everybody should understand. Like open meeting law, procurement laws, ethics laws, that kind of stuff. That's very good. There's this portion where it says enforcement on the last page, section A, generally. That probably should say general, in terms, not generally. And the part about censuring, taking actions as it deems fit, and these remedies shall be in addition to other remedies. You know, it's very vague. I mean, it's like you can just make up any remedy you want, and that's very vague. And like I said, I'm just seeing this right now, and to me, it's not an item that was not anticipated within 48 hours, so I think right now it's not properly in front of the board. This could have been easily put onto the agenda for tonight's meeting, and if John just produced it, less than 48 hours, like you got it over the weekend, then it should have been put on the agenda for October. But to just drop it in front and then say we're going to have a vote,
No,
votes need to be on the agenda.
Well,
So I think it's just not properly in front of the board.
it says it's a potential vote, so if there's an
Yeah.
objection to voting on it this evening, we can table it till next meeting.
Oh, I think it's a worthwhile document, but I just don't think it's something that should be subject to the vote at this time.
That's fine. The,
There's a lot of good points in it.
I'll give you my copy of this, but one of the other things I think we should add to this is just put end of code of conduct, after the last sentence. We date it. We put the printed name of each of the commissioners, and we put lines where each of the commissioners can sign and acknowledge that they received a copy of it. I think this has. Wrong one.
May I ask the executive director if he's familiar with such a thing with PHCD or HLC? Would they have a department, or would they have a comment on something like this?
No, they would not have conduct on the board voting on code of conduct. Actually, I think they suggested that we have one.
They did?
Mhm.
PHCD did?
Yes.
Is it in the regs, or just somebody you talked to?
Someone that I talked to.
Somebody, you know who that is? Could you tell us who it is?
Yeah, his name is Ben Stone.
Ben Stone, he's the top guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, but also the residents have been asking for that as well. I believe 2 meetings ago, 2 or maybe 3 meetings ago, they've been asking for it. So,
Just a FYI, we'll see if we can arrange to have a representative from EOHLC at our October meeting, just to discuss the roles and responsibilities of the commissioners.
I'm not going to be at the
We won't be at the October, so then we'll do it
What
in
date is it?
the date. We can move it to November.
I have a
You have it
vacation
in November?
October.
Okay.
So you're away October also?
Yeah, I want to see what date it is. I'm going from the 4th to the,
The October meeting would be October 1st,
Oh, I
first
can go
Tuesday
there.
of the month.
I'll be there.
The November meeting will be November 5th.
I'll be here for October 1st. And maybe the 5th.
I know we had one resident who wanted to ask a question, so I'll ask the board as to whether or not they want to remain for a few more minutes, or if you want to adjourn the meeting.
Did you want to, you have another document that you included?
The bylaws.
You have the bylaws?
Do we have a-
I think we had a discussion, and then we tabled it. Colleen was going to write it up. And now she provided what we discussed.
Your records.
vote on it?
Well, these are your edits from the last meeting.
All right, so we'll take a moment to review those.
Hasn't it?
No,
Saying.
I know one question on the, let's see, page 3, Article 3, Section 2. It says, annual meetings of the authority shall be held without notice for the purpose of electing officers. Is that language correct?
What page you on, Tom?
Article 3. I think you just did want to declare what month the meeting would be in. I think that was the purpose of it being that big. To declare any one of your meetings as being annual in section 2. We didn't want to be, you didn't want to be constrained by a specific month. Was my understanding.
So
Why
even
would
if we
that-
said with notice, it wouldn't define what month, right? But at least we're giving notice.
I'll take up the,
Yeah, the word without just doesn't belong in there because there's open meeting law violations and, requirements that are necessary.
Yeah, I think if you could change the word without to with.
Right. And then the same holds true for section 3. It says without notice, but we change that to with. And then in section 4, third line down, almost at the end, there should be a uppercase for the word call. It's 2 calls in a row.
you've got it.
Okay.
It's called,
Also, on like in section 4 that you just referred to, the ending of that last sentence, but if all the members of the authority are present at a special meeting, any and all business may be transacted at such special meeting. That's really opens a can of worms.
Where are we?
Section 4, titled special meetings.
It's on the next page,
Okay.
last page.
It says that such special meeting, if you call a special meeting,
That's,
which is, in other words, we have agreed that we're going to meet. We agreed before we were going to meet on September 3rd and August, whatever it was, 5th, 6th.
right,
We have, that's already been laid out.
right,
Now, you called a special meeting to vote on that generator contract,
right.
so I understand that. So that's what a special meeting is. It's something needs, some business needs to be wrapped up and addressed in a timely fashion. And short notice meetings, it shouldn't be written just to serve our board's interests in a sense. It should be written to serve notification requirements in the public's interest in knowing what's coming up. So to write in here that once we get into the room for a special meeting, like to ratify that or to vote on that generator installation project, and then to just bring up anything else we want within the meeting, that's really pushing it in terms of open meeting requirements and notifications. That's really pushing it.
I don't know where the audience came from. This was a collection of,
I think this was the old bylaws.
oh, was it?
I just looked.
I know you guys gathered some
Yeah.
Yeah.
stuff from other housing authorities.
Yeah.
So,
I think this mostly came from the old bylaws, because we
sure.
cleaned up a little.
My concern is if we eliminate that, and for some reason we do have a special meeting, and during the special meeting, there's another topic that comes up that we need to take a vote on, we wouldn't be able to do that.
Well, you shouldn't.
But then we would have to call another special meeting. And in consideration of the time constraints of all the board members, I would prefer to be able to have the opportunity to discuss any other matter that we may need to discuss.
I think there's also a distinct difference between taking a vote and having a discussion. You're able, when you are together as a board, you're able to bring up new items of discussion. They don't have to be posted on the agenda.
That's,
Votes need to
true.
be posted
Yeah, that's
on the
true.
agenda. So there's nothing that precludes you from having discussion.
so instead of saying any and all business may be transacted, that's a little too broad. You could say discussed. But you'd be really pushing it to then get into a meeting and say, hey, by the way, let's vote on this. You know, that would be really pushing it.
Consider it already been transacted.
You could just add the word business discussions, maybe transacted at such special meeting. I mean, I don't think,
Instead of transacted, so business discussions,
Yeah.
just added it. That would cover both.
You'd basically cover yourself under the open meeting law. But it would give you the flexibility that you want to, like, have things progress.
But this can't trump the open meeting. The open meeting law
Exactly.
will take precedent no matter what this says.
But the word transacted, though, it's
Considered?
considered, yeah, or discussed.
You know, I'd recommend consider,
Considered,
So we don't put everything.
again, as long as you don't tread into violating open meeting law requirements. Everybody else should be aware.
correct.
I think considered kind of means, you want to stay away from considered.
That's my
I
inclination.
think you want to do discussion.
Can we do it any and all business discussed?
Discuss.
Yeah,
I have no objection.
So basically, a special meeting, like in a regular meeting, we can address and vote on things that were not foreseen by the chairperson. We cannot do that in a special meeting. So I think discussion is the limit to where we can go. right? So even if there was something urgent, we couldn't vote on it in a special meeting unless it was purpose for that.
Even in a regular meeting, you can't vote on stuff that's not on the agenda.
Well, if something
And you
comes
have
up.
to have really solid justification for bringing something up. It has to be an emergency.
But there is a loophole for that, and that is the items not anticipated. But we shouldn't have that loophole necessarily for special meeting.
Shouldn't have it for anything, but you need to be able to know what you could possibly vote on. And you can only vote on things at short notice if you amend the agenda and it's an emergency. But I'm okay with the word discuss there.
Everybody okay with that?
Yes.
So it should say, any and all business that we discussed at such special meeting.
Yep.
So do we want to then consider taking a vote on the revised bylaw
That went to the board.
as amended?
That would be the board.
I think we should.
I mean, it is old business.
Yeah, it is. It's okay.
It's been
It's
tabled.
been tabled 3 times
Tabled
already.
yeah, many times.
In the future, we should try to table it with to a certain date. Did we discuss the assistant treasurer position?
Yes,
Is that going to be eliminated or kept?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It was voted on.
Yeah, I would say,
Assistant treasurer.
with the amendments we just discussed, change the word without to with under Article 3, Sections 2 and 3. This is my motion. With the amendment of the removal of the word transacted under Section 4 and change to discussed.
And capitalize.
Capitalize the C. and
Capitalize the C, right, in line 3, Section 4. Items shall be included on the regular agenda. Doesn't mean they are going to be there, but that's the standing agenda, right? We agreed on that. So with those amendments, that's my motion to accept them as written.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll take a roll call vote.
Commissioner Delgadillo.
Yes.
Commissioner Pastor.
Yes.
Commissioner Daly.
Yes.
Commissioner Bennett.
Yes.
And Commissioner Richardson.
Yes. Thank you.
We have a document.
Any other items that board members want to discuss? Or the executive director?
No, but it's gone to the public. Have you gone to the public?
Uh, Do the commissioners agree that we can open it to the public?
It could be covered a lot, this is.
Anybody else have a feeling?
Unless something's on fire,
I don't think it's necessary at this point.
Okay. So I'll take a motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Second, any discussion? Hearing none, take a roll call.
Commissioner Delgadillo.
Yes.
Commissioner Pastor.
Yes.
Commissioner Daly.
Yes.
Commissioner Bennett.
Yes.
Commissioner Richardson.
Yes. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.